My comments are going to be relatively brief because really we are here because of the vision of Secretary Eric Hall. And the Department of Juvenile Justice, with the leadership that Secretary Hall is providing, is headed in a direction that will be a model for the rest of the country. And we are simply thrilled to be a part of that, because one of the things we care about is what we refer to as providing second chances to Floridians. You know, we do a lot of work with the Department of Corrections. We're going to be doing amazing work with the Department of Juvenile Justice with one goal in mind, and that is making sure that everyone has the opportunity to change the future direction of their life. Can't do anything about the past, but by golly, we can certainly do some things about the future. With that, you know, we have a series of distinguished guests that are going to be here, and I'm going to pass the microphone along to Vice President Kimberly Moore. Dr. Moore has been the point person for this effort with the Department of Juvenile Justice, and I'll let Kim do the introductions of the remainder of the folks who will be coming up. Thank you again.
I think I'll start with, and it's really, as I was preparing my remarks, I thought about it and really how this is relevant for this moment. But no one should ever be defined by their worst day. Again, I'll reiterate, no one should ever be defined by their worst day. However, each time at-risk youth hit that brick wall as a result of not knowing how to navigate that system or use a system that could offer that help, if only they knew what to do, or if only they had someone to serve as their advocate, I have no doubt that the outcomes would certainly be different. More importantly, what if, when a youth entered a DJJ facility, that as part of their orientation, along with recognizing what got them there, they were given an opportunity to be a part of a program that offered a second chance to succeed? And that just like an anchor grounds a ship to protect it from going adrift at sea, Project Anchor, through the collaboration of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice and Tallahassee Community College, would serve as that foundation and that stability needed, that not only while the youth are in the facility, but even once they transition back into their home communities. Now, what's not lost on me, and I'm certainly sure that it's not going to be lost on this audience, that based on the leadership, the strong leadership found at the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice, Secretary Hall, he could have made the decision to go it alone. He didn't. He recognized that in order for DJJ youth to experience every opportunity for a chance at a better life, that it starts at the top and that it starts with collaboration. And it's through that spirit of collaboration that Project Anchor was conceived. So 3 important things that I want you to know about Project Anchor. Project Anchor is career and workforce focused. The educational programs that will be offered are aligned with industry needed, whether it's local, also state. We have made sure that there is an alignment. In essence, what that means for you is that employers need the skills that these youth will have. And third, and I would say probably more importantly, Project Anchor creates a win-win shared agenda driven by the Department of Juvenile Justice, but in partnership with the Florida college system, the public post-secondary schools and technical colleges, Career Source Florida and the WIOA workforce boards, and DEO, and most certainly the community. So some of the other important aspects that I want you to know about Project Anchor and why I'm so excited about it is that the educational programs will actually be throughout the state of Florida. We will kick it off with Walton County, Duval, and then Everglades. And as a sneak peek, I want to share with this audience just what youth will expect or can expect and as their experience. And that will include, the first thing, a Pathfinder Academy. That's going to include career assessments and career exploration. There's going to be digital literacy and something that you probably haven't even heard of, and that's future-ready badging. Now, TCC had the great opportunity to partner up with V. Myers-Briggs to create this first-of-its-kind badging that, in essence, allows the skill sets that a youth has, they actually balance it against what employers are looking for as those in-demand workforce skills. Those areas could include not only communication, leadership, teamwork, and certainly problem solving. Now, if that wasn't enough, the youth will be assigned to a pre-apprenticeship or what I like to refer to as an industry pathway, For example, in Walton County, there will be the Retail and Hospitality Initiative. In Duval, it will be the Information Technology Initiative. And in Everglades, it will be the Construction and Manufacturing. All of these programs, again, line with industry needs, and more importantly, it's not just the instruction that we're talking about here today. It's each youth will earn one or more industry-recognized certifications that for an employer, it means that they're ready day one. It also means that this is a portable skill, it's a national skill, it's something that they can take with them throughout. And if that wasn't enough, youth will be able to transition to a community or technical college or enter the workforce. Now, what you should be mindful of is that from the very beginning, through Secretary Hall's leadership, there's been a focus on not only the youth and their experience inside the facility, but also their transition back to their home communities, but with a safety net. So what does that look like? Well, a Project Anchor Career Navigator will be assigned to each youth, and together, prior to their 90 days of release, they will work together to jointly create this success plan. We're calling it a success plan because we're believing that every youth has an opportunity to succeed when they're partnered up. And from there, we will work with those youth to focus on school, work, both, and at the same time identify any barriers that they might have to accomplishing any of those goals. In order for any of this to be a success, it will require statewide coordination, in such a way that any perceived or any real silos are done away with so that these youth are involved in a seamless transition. So if you haven't gotten it already, and as I move to a close, the key stakeholders earlier are Project Anchor's secret sauce. Everybody that I mentioned, and certainly that they're here today with us, it's the secret sauce for this project. Fact of the matter is that there's a vested interest statewide in serving youth, and what Project Anchor does, like no other initiative before, is connect all of the partners in a way that no longer is a youth looking for 3 or 4 doors to enter. They're going to one door that allows them access to all the other services and have the great opportunity for a brighter future. So Project Anchor, again, something of note, is one of the largest initiatives pursued by any one organization. However, I'm confident that with Florida at the lead, and certainly leading it nationwide in their efforts, that Florida's at-risk youth can plan on a brighter and better day here in Florida. And with that said, none of this, again, would be possible were it not for the vision put forward by Secretary Hall, who you'll learn that not only is his heart big, but certainly his own life journey is shared in this, and it's prepared him for the moment today. So Secretary Hall, if you would please come to the podium.
Hey, good morning, and I have to tell you, it's truly an honor and so humbled to be here. And, I got to start by thanking our friends and colleagues at TCC, President Murdaugh, Vice President Moore, the team here at the Tallahassee Community College for really stepping up to the challenge. Coming into this work, when I started back in December, I came to this job from the Department of Education. And I can tell you, the best public safety strategy, and I believe this to my core, the best public safety strategy we can have as a state is to ensure a high-quality education for everyone. And whether that's in our K-12 system or whether it's in our post-secondary system, we provide that access and opportunity. It helps individuals to achieve their goals and dreams in life. And that's what this is all about. Coming into this work, let me just tell you a little bit about the Department of Juvenile Justice. We're the largest consolidated juvenile justice system in the nation. Not because of the number of kids that we have in our system, but because of the number of kids we don't have in our system. Because of the efforts that we do on the front end through prevention, using programs like civil citation, community-based interventions and services, the nearly 25,000 kids each day that we're serving, the great majority are in our local communities doing great things in our schools with the supports of community partners. For the youth that need a little bit more support and attention, we have nearly 2,000 kids a year that are coming through our residential commitment programs. Now, 2,000 kids, let me just share with you a trend that we have seen. That's a nearly 80% reduction in recent years, going from a point in time where we had nearly 10,000 kids a year in residential programs to now down to 2,000. This is an important time to make a double-down effort and getting those 2,000 kids across the finish line with a credential, getting them into the workforce, getting them on a pathway to long-term success. And that's what this partnership is about. So when you talk about leadership, while I appreciate the kudos to me, the kudos needs to be pointed back at TCC. Because, my biggest task was coming to the table and saying, here's the problem I want to solve. They came to the table saying, here's some solutions that we need to consider. And together we moved quickly. One of the fastest initiatives that I have ever seen come to the table, and it was because of the leadership and passion of the leadership that's at this university, or at this college, and in partnership with so many others across the state. But I just, again, can't thank you enough, for the work here at TCC and your leadership, seriously. When we talk about partnerships, you're going to hear from a couple other leaders, and we're going to talk about, again, the coordinated effort. But let me tell you about Project Anchor and what we're going to do. At the Department of Juvenile Justice, we're bringing college into our programs. We're bringing opportunities into our programs. The network of 37 residential facilities across our state that are specially designed to meet the unique needs of the youth that we serve, they're all in K-12 schools, or they all have a high school diploma. They're in that situation, but the missing ingredient is, what do we do to get them a credential that helps them to get into a career of their goals and dreams? This isn't just about changing the trajectory of the individual and helping them achieve upward mobility and self-sufficiency. This is about offering them opportunities for their families, changing really the course of the families that they're, that's in their lives today, while changing the course of future generations because of what they can do to get on a pathway to a middle to high wage career. That's what this work is about. Again, I'm passionate about this because I can tell you we've got unbelievable kids that have unbelievable potential, and this work together is creating the ingredients to help them reach their full God-given potential. And that's what we're going to invest in. We're fortunate to have a governor that prioritized that at the very beginning of his administration. He came out with an executive order. One of his first executive orders, in fact, was about ensuring that Florida was charting a course to be #1 in workforce education. And because of that vision and because of that leadership of Governor DeSantis and the support of our Florida legislature, we're able to invest nearly $5 million a year into this effort. And that's what this is about. It's about putting funding, policy, and practice into alignment so that you create those opportunities that we're here to talk about today. And while we have, the top-ranked state colleges and universities in the country, a world-class, K-12 system, and our technical colleges that are doing this work, you put all those ingredients together, like I said, it creates a formula for success for all Floridians, regardless of circumstance, regardless of challenge, and even for the young people that have, overcome some barriers and find themselves in our system. This is about removing those barriers and, again, offering opportunities that many of them, you talk to them, they couldn't fathom. And I've looked eye to eye with so many of our young people and talked about, hey, what are you doing right now when I go to the programs? And they'll say, oh, I just got my GED, or I just got my high school diploma. And my next question is, okay, so what's next? What are you going to do? And they're like, not real sure. Maybe I'll get a job. I said, well, why don't we talk about getting a job with a credential that you want to do and not just a job that you have to do? Let's get you a job to where you can get a credential that's going to put you on that path to a great career that's paying you well to have the things that you want in life for you and your family. You do those things together, again, with the partners that are in this room and across this state, leveraging the assets of Tallahassee Community College, along with the network of our technical colleges and our state colleges and our universities. Let's offer that world-class experience to the individuals that are in our programs. And that's what we're doing. So again, I can't thank you enough, as I mentioned at the beginning, TCC, the board members, our stakeholders, and again, the network of others across the state that are going to make unbelievable things happen. Keep your eyes on it, because I can tell you, while Florida leads the nation in so many ways, this is the next chapter of what we're going to do in the Department of Juvenile Justice to change the course trajectory, because we know that what the research says, you help people get across the finish line, even kids that are in our juvenile system. We get them across the finish line with an education. They have that high school diploma, and now they have a credential that's coming from a college or a technical college or a university. The research shows we can reduce recidivism, and while we have an all-time low in our recidivism rate in this state, we're going to see unprecedented things happen because of, again, the vision, the partnership, and the leadership that exists here in Florida. So with that, speaking of leadership, I want to introduce a couple other individuals that are going to help us really highlight and bring this work to the forefront. Very fortunate to serve alongside Secretary Eagle. If you want to come up and make a few comments. Secretary Eagle has been an unbelievable partner. He comes to us from the Department of Economic Opportunity. And when you talk about credentialing and we look at policy and legislation like 1507 that passed about really establishing credentials of value, again, DJJ is not a part of, we're not removed from that work. We're at the forefront of that work with our partners like DEO. So Secretary Eagle, if you'd like to make a few statements and share some of the work, thank you.
Well, first, I want to thank Secretary Hall and Dr. Murdaugh, everyone at DJJ and Tallahassee Community College for bringing this vision to fruition. But I especially want to thank Governor DeSantis for making workforce a #1 priority in his administration. As Secretary Hall mentioned, the governor signed an executive order early in his administration stating that Florida will be #1 in workforce education in the country by 2030. And through projects like this, we're well on our way to get there. We mentioned a lot of agencies that partner to make this happen, and I'm so proud of what the state college system is doing, the university system, the technical colleges, DJJ in this case, Department of Education, and then the work we do at DEO in partnership with CareerSource to make workforce a priority. People often wonder, what does DEO even do, Department of Economic Opportunity? What does that mean? Well, the way I look at it is we focus on people through workforce, we focus on businesses to make sure that they have what they need to succeed, and we focus on communities to make sure that that community is linked together for economic success. And if any one of those things, the workforce, the business community, or the actual infrastructure of the community don't exist, well, then economic opportunity does not exist. You can have a great business flourishing and great infrastructure, but if you don't have the right people to work within that business, to work within that community, then your economy is going to fail. So things like this, and especially in this case where we're giving students, young kids, a second chance, as Dr. Moore said, that was wonderful. You shouldn't be judged by your best days. So let's give them an opportunity to be judged by much better days. Let's continue to put our best foot forward. But with all those partners mentioned, I think we're well on our way to achieving the governor's vision of making Florida #1 in workforce education by 2030. I also want to highlight, just last week, a week ago, Dr. Murdaugh, we were able to announce $1.6 million through the governor's Florida Job Growth Grant Fund. Again, a top priority of his, and putting money where his mouth is, not just saying let's make workforce #1. He invested $1.6 million in Tallahassee Community College for healthcare credentialing, not only through the Leon County and Tallahassee region, but into Gadsden County to make sure that we're serving rural areas of economic opportunity as well. So future's bright. Excited to be a part of this today, but really the kudos go to Secretary Hall, Dr. Murdaugh, and the governor for all that they're doing. Appreciate the opportunity.
It starts with vision and it starts with leadership. And to serve a governor who's made that a priority from the get-go and is leading the nation in education, again, to be able to build on that with the youth that are in our programs, it's just an unbelievable opportunity and humbled to serve in this role. But speaking of partners, I also want to talk about, the great leadership that we have with CareerSource Florida. Michelle Dennard is the CEO and president. We joked because I was saying earlier, I say her name right all the time, and the one time I don't, I just messed it up. Michelle Dennard, who is the president and CEO with CareerSource. Again, unbelievable partner and friend, and had the privilege of working with her very closely when I was at the Department of Education and serving on the CareerSource board. And I can tell you, again, when you talk about vision and you talk about leadership and building capacity, Michelle's making sure that that happens across our state with our workforce boards and the things that we're doing to support our employers, to support our, our institutions that are building the talent and coming together to create great outcomes for all Floridians. So, Michelle.
Good morning. On behalf of the CareerSource Florida Board of Directors, we're so proud to be here in support of this important initiative that's going to help us realize the governor's vision of making Florida the #1 state for workforce education by 2030. Ensuring that all of Florida's youth have access to career pathways and work readiness skills will provide them a more vibrant future. And it helps Florida employers be sure that they have the long-term sustainable talent pipelines that they need to continue to grow and thrive in Florida's booming economy. We applaud the work of Secretary Hall of the Department of Juvenile Justice, of TCC, of the other state college institutions, and our partner at the Department of Economic Opportunity. We look forward to seeing this important partnership play out across the state and improve the lives of so many. Thank you for allowing us to be here today.
Our banner moment.
So again, I want to thank all of you for being here with us today. And while again, this project is starting right here in our state's capital and starting right here at the Tallahassee Community College, again, I don't want to really underestimate the impact this is going to have for kids all across our state. Those 37 residential programs I mentioned earlier, again, are spread across the entire state of Florida. And we have kids that are coming from all local communities into those programs. And again, bringing college and these types of credentialing opportunities to our kids in the programs and supporting them when they're transitioning out. Again, we talk about opportunity, that's going to be achieved. So I thank, again, our partners for helping us to make sure that we're not only achieving our goals as an agency, but most importantly, helping to really double down on what it means to build, stronger youth, stronger families, and stronger and safer communities. Because like I said earlier, the best public safety strategy is a high-quality education, and what we're doing is to work and to guarantee that not only in our K-12 system, but with post-secondary opportunities for all the youth in our facilities and in our programs. So thank you very much. And Dr. Moore, I'll turn it back to you.
Who can top that? I will close it with that, yes, there's no doubt that we'll get there, but we'll get there faster through all the partnerships and collaborations, and our youth are counting on us to do it. Thank you very much for attending.